Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. Today is Saturday, June the 12th. I am Joe Sarvati, affectionately known as Coach, and I am joining you here for a one-game NBA Showdown slate for this evening's action. So very excited to get going here. Um, Last night was not too kind for me on the basketball front. You're going to have some of those days with these 1 and 2 game slates where you miss a guy that goes off, or you put a guy in there that doesn't get much time, and you're going to be sunk. So, rebound day for me for sure. We did have some great wins from our members. Andrew had put some good things out there with his GPP. We also had some baseball winners, and we're lining up hopefully for some golf winners this weekend also. But just wanted to say hello out there to all of our members. A lot of new members recently, so excited to talk with them on our weekly meeting that we're going to have later this morning. And just things are going great. We love being here and being part of your day with DFS, and we really do appreciate every listener. Do take a second if you can on the front end here. If you're watching this on YouTube, take a moment, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. We're closing in on a goal of our team, and then hit the little alert button up in the top corner. That will give you complete access to whenever our podcast posts in any sport. You'll be alerted so you can catch them when they go up. All right, let's talk about this game. Dive right into it. We have the Utah Jazz at the LA Clippers. Utah is 2-0 in the series, so somewhat important win here would be for the Clippers. They were down 2-0 to Dallas, but had lost both of those at home and still were able to win that series. So being down 2-0 and now getting to go back to their home court, I'm sure they still feel very, very much so that they're in this series. So definitely a must win, though. Can't go down 3-0. Clippers are actually favored by 5. So Vegas also thinks they're going to bounce back and win this game. Total's 223, which is reasonable. But it is a solo game. So we'll be providing for this on Coach Talk as a showdown slate. So very important to, the whole entire process that we always promote that I think really works the best for everybody, and we get a lot of good feedback from our members too, is if you catch the podcast, listen to the breakdown, the game scripting, keep that in mind, reserve those contests with, builds that you're putting together based on that information, and then, follow things in Discord throughout the day so that you can see what changes, what news. If we get any coach speak, anything that goes on, we're going to share that in Discord so that we get, the latest information that's possible prior to the tip. And then, if you're a member of Coach Talk, we'd love to have you. If you jump in Discord, then, 25 minutes before lock, as normal, we'll be giving either a DraftKings clipboard, which will give you a selection of players and a highlighted core, or we'll give you basically a super 5 or starting 5 of core plays that you can utilize for your build cash-wise, and we'll also give you one on the GPP side. FanDuel full lineups, both for hybrid, which we use in single entry and cash, and then a GPP build as well. And then Yahoo, we supply a full hybrid lineup. All right, exciting game here, interesting game to look at. Again, I do think the Clippers are going to show up for this one. I think they, wasn't surprised they dropped the first game for sure, or probably even the second that much, because that, hard-fought series against the Mavericks went 7. There was a lot of, exhaustion there, I think, from everybody because of the high minutes, and they came in against a rested Utah team. So I would think they're regrouped somewhat and ready to go in this home game. Let's look at the Clippers across the board, though. Certainly Kawhi has been very good, but not anything as dominant as he was in that Dallas series thus far. Definitely looked a little tired. I think he left it all on the floor to get by the first round, but I think you'll start to see some rebound here. He did get 38 minutes and got 17 shots up. He just didn't get all those ancillary numbers that he usually gets. So he is definitely high on the radar here. Certainly a very strong play for my captain spot and for the buy up amount as far as who you're going to roster. And then after that, you've got a group of guys that are playing big minutes. Marcus Morris, wild card. You just don't know. I mean, he's capable of putting up a really good number or a dud. Definitely more of a GPP style play, but can make your last spot in cash. He did get 37 minutes again and pulled down 10 rebounds with 8 points. So he's right on that cusp, right in between. His price is decent. I think, he's worth consideration. Zubats plays, got minutes again, only 14, and it looked like in the first quarter he was going to have a much bigger role. Now, when he was in there, he did a fine job with scoring the basketball, but 0 rebounds, the whole 9 yards makes him somewhat unplayable for me. I dialed him up and got stung that last game, and probably won't go back there. I really would, be concerned. Then you've got the other 2 major players, and then maybe one guy off the bench. The other 2, obviously, Paul George. You can go Kawhi and George and make it work. I still think the better strategy is to go one or the other so that you can get some good correlation and strength on the other side. Plus, there's another option here in Reggie Jackson. He got 36 big minutes, took 19 shots. He took more shots than Kawhi or Paul George. And he hit 4 threes, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. So he has really assumed the role of large minutes point guard here. And, again, there's always a possibility that if he's, slumped, you've got Patrick Beverley back in the picture. Terrence Mann remains there. But it really does seem like they're leaning on Reggie to be that leader. So, for me, it's either Kawhi and Paul George. Morris certainly high in up my list, as well as Reggie Jackson. After that, the bench guys, don't trust him. Not enough minutes. Pat Bev, even though he got 20 minutes, he was 0 for 5 again. Cousins, 11 minutes, got up 7 shots and 4 rebounds. I think a lot of people are going to fall for that line and look at those DFS points per minute and go there, but I'm not. I think it's a bit of a trap. I think he could get 5-6 minutes here, or even if he gets 10, just, isn't going to quite get it done. Can't imagine he's going to be that efficient in that amount of minutes again. And then Kennard slipped back to 10 minutes and 1 shot. And believe it or not, Terrence Mann, who got some good minutes in the last series, only got in for a minute. Looks like Beverly has passed him back up. So you got your core plays there. I think that's going to be the solid spot to go. And then before we jump into the Jazz, just real quickly, join us, dfscoachtalk.com. We have as little as a 3-day pass for $10. We have other multiple memberships, including our 2-month membership right now in honor of the NBA playoffs. You get a full 2 months for $111, which is really a great discount off of our normal pricing. You can find all of those right on our website. If you have questions too, you can shoot us a tweet. We're at DFS Coach Talk. I am at JOESARVADI, and Andrew is at Language Olympic. If you're watching this on YouTube right now, again, hit that thumbs up, hit the subscribe, hit the alert button. We really, really appreciate that. All right, the Utah Jazz. Let's dive right in. Very strong minutes for 6 players. They basically played somewhat of a 6-man rotation, which makes things pretty easy when you're trying to figure out which way to go here. Donovan Mitchell is a must play, just like the Joker was for me last night. I mean, he's in a groove. He's feeling great. He played 39 minutes. He got up 29 shots. So, 12 threes were attempted. He's just, been the best player on the floor, really, in this series so far. He has outplayed Kawhi and Paul George. So I'm not going to go away from it. I don't see them making huge defensive adjustments. He's their quarterback. I think, if you're not going to use Kawhi in that captain spot, I think Mitchell's just the obvious other choice. It's just somewhat of a no-brainer. And, you start with him. After that, you have some good options here, all with some risk, but all have potential. Gobert's just a little overpriced for me. A lot of people went to him, and I get it. He had 20 rebounds. So you're good to go if he grabs 20 rebounds. But, is he going to get that again? And he only got 5 shots up again, and that's a concern. You get very little points, no assists, and, you're hopefully going to get a few steals and a few blocks to go with those rebounds, but he's very expensive. So that's a big decision here on what you want to do with Gobert. But, the 4 guys that are, I think, going to decide this slate, and I haven't made the decision on them, but I'll give you the 4 guys. I'm probably going to have 2 of them. It's Bogdanovich, who played 38 minutes, got up 8 shots, and that's low for him. He's always double-digit shots. Then there's Royce O'Neal, super cheap value, 40 and a half minutes again. Again, not a lot of stats, but the potential's there, to get in the 20s DFS-wise with those gigantic minutes and values. So got to be considered. Joe Ingles, who got up 10 shots, and Clarkson got up 15. Now, we need to see what the situation is with Conley before this game. He's questionable. And our general rule of thumb is if Conley's going to play and he doesn't have a hard cap, if he's going to get 25 minutes plus, which he usually does when he plays, then he's the place to go. If he sits, that combo has been just absolutely on fire for us of Ingles and Clarkson. They've been a great 1-2 punch when Conley's out. Again, Ingles got almost 33 minutes, Clarkson almost 27, but they did get up 15 threes and 25 shots overall between them. So, that's all affected whether Conley plays or not. And so that's why I haven't made my decisions on who those players are, but that I'm going to roster. But I do think that the key element to this slate is seeing the Conley news and then reacting with the remainder of your build after having that core of Mitchell, either Kawhi or Paul George, and then building around them. So pretty simple and straightforward. We'll be following the news all day, especially on Conley. We do know, by the way, that Ibaka had back surgery. He's out for the remainder of the season, so he will not be spelling Zubats if they even go big at all. They've been going smaller with Batum at center, and that very well, could continue. So we'll see how it goes. Should be a fun slate. Again, not as much room for error, with your selections when it's a showdown slate, but don't be afraid to get in those cash games. I mean, that's still the place to go. As we saw with our man Andrew and his monster $45,000 takedown in the last time Utah and the Clippers played, it came down to the last 2 plays of the game with Gobert hitting a foul shot and then getting a steal right before the buzzer. And that, that took Andrew from like 118th place to takedown. So it is that razor thin. But if you're playing a good majority of cash games, the 50-50s, double up and head-to-heads, that's really a great place to go because you don't have to have the optimal perfect lineup. You can beat a lot of people with really strong lineups because they're going to be just, it's just as easy for them to make an error with one of their rostered plays as it would be for you. So that would be my advice there. Excited the fact that we've got a great playoff game tonight. We'll be covering all the baseball today. That's going to be a really good day of baseball all across the board. And then, of course, I'll be back tomorrow, and there's a 2-game slate, which I like much better, and I like the 2 games. It's 3 Eastern, Brooklyn, Milwaukee, and 8 Eastern, Phoenix and Denver. So I'll be checking in early in the morning with the podcast, get it out there for everybody, and certainly hope that we're building tomorrow off of today's winners. So that is the plan, my friends. Thank you so much for joining us, and I'll be with you again tomorrow when we look to crush it in NBA DFS.